As a massive fan of the original Moana, does Moana Part 2 live up to its predecessor? Welcome to Movie World Plus, the place where we talk movies. I'm Andy Signore, and I'm here to review Moana 2. Look, I gotta say right out before I get to this review, my family and I love Moana. I really think it's also about the music. There's something about these Disney musicals. If the music's good, and if you have kids, you end up listening to the music more, which almost is like replaying the movie more, and then it ingrains in you more. And I think it's part of the secret ingredients to the Disney magic, which I do believe still exists. I'm not a huge fan of Disney as a corporation, but I do love the films I grew up on, and I do love more of the recent films. And Moana was a recent, Disney princess movie that I thought actually really worked. Funny with The Rock. Auliʻi Cravalho, sorry I said her name totally wrong, but she was good, great voice. And it always sort of was on the heels of Frozen. I feel like Moana, oh yeah, it's good, but Frozen's the big hit. I was always a bigger Moana fan than I was of Frozen. Let It Go, of course. But all that said, I will say this about Moana 2. It does what Frozen couldn't. It made a better sequel. Frozen 2 is one of the worst Disney sequels. I can't remember anything. It is just convoluted, such a waste opportunity. And if you ever watch the making of Frozen 2 on Disney Plus, it is fascinating because you can see the stress on them. You see the stresses. They're trying to figure out how to hit that release date for Frozen 2 with all the expectations and everything that came upon them. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So I had similar fears going into Moana 2. I'll be honest, because this happened, apparently, Moana 2 really actually got fast-tracked, and the reason we're getting so much Moana is they looked at the analytics at Disney Plus, and apparently Moana was one of the biggest streaming titles they had, massively, huge numbers, and they realized, oh, we got to actually mine this IP more than we are. There was a Disney Plus show that had been being worked on, but the rumors have it that Bob Iger sort of came in when he took over and was like, why is this a Disney Plus show? Take it back, make it a theatrical experience, go. And I'll be honest, that worried me. This idea of, oh God, a Disney Plus show that they're just going to try to like spit out for money's sake really did worry me. I remember the Monsters University show. I was so excited for that on Disney Plus. And man, it's just underwhelming. It's really bad. Doesn't work. And I love Monsters. I love Monsters University, Monsters Inc. Both I think are actually really good films. That Disney Plus show was a slog. I don't even think I finished it. So hearing that this was going to happen, all that said, I was worried about Moana 2, but man, I am happy to say my family and I had a blast. Look, Moana 1 is still better. I will put that out there. It's definitely the better of the two, but Moana 2 does something interesting in that it actually expands the character and the universe in a way that I really liked. And I got to start out right at the get-go by saying Moana as a character gets to really shine and become the hero, which, she's the kid. I could do it. I'm Moana. I get on my boat. And in 2, now that she's, proven herself and the chief and the tribe all believe in her, she really gets to go on a more sort of epic adventure and step up. And this movie is all about her getting the chance to step up, which honestly made more sense as we build this world and she goes out to Beyond, the new song, to sort of explore the village. They end up coming up with an interesting plot that sort of justifies how they're going to build this whole universe. And of course, Maui's back as well. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson back doing a great job as Maui. He is a very fun character. And he gets a lot of good one-liners in. There are actually some legitimate, funny, laugh out loud moments I had, particularly with his lines and some others. It's funny, it's cute. But the surprise was they actually, she's going on a bigger mission, so she's got to have a crew. And I was a little worried about the idea of this, but it actually worked. It's a fun, very supporting characters that sort of help round out her team so she can sort of lead them and sort of become the leader. And it's actually a nice change of pace. It builds up the world and the villagers, so you get a little bit more sense of where people come from. And I got to say, I think it was a really good call to add these characters. My family and I all agreed. I was like, am I going to like them? They're not like so forced down that you're going to dislike, but just enough little moments to give them each their moment and their standout part to make them, beneficial for being there. And then, of course, she has a sister now who's just adorable, the baby voice. And there's some emotional heft here on Moana having to go on this very serious mission and the sister not wanting her to. Moana having to face that for the greater good, which again is very Moana. But building up stakes, building up characters, and surprisingly, the movie itself, it does get a little bit more like, whoa, what's going on? There's a big threat that didn't feel like the traditional sky beam, which kind of it's lightnings, but still a traditional sort of a plot that sort of explains why certain things, are there. I don't want to give away the plot. It's a Disney movie. There's not a lot to give away. So if I give you too much, I'm telling you the whole movie. So I'm being a little vague on purpose because I think you guys will go to enjoy it. And I think the story was clever. And I actually really liked the ending. There's a good, surprising sort of, oh, wow, okay, cool. And it does open up the world. I mean, don't get too excited. I've always wanted them to make the Disney Princess Avengers. I'm like, look, can we finally just get Moana to sail off to find Elsa and then Rapunzel? And like, we pitched that in the very first Honest trailer way back. But I'm kind of like, I wish they'd go there, but anyway, but my point is it's not that big of a, like, whoa, there's no big moments, but it's still from this story as it's contained, they go on an adventure. It has a good resolution. It gives her a good arc. These characters don't get much of one, but yeah, they're a little bit, nervous, whatever. They each have their little moments, but it really is Moana's movie to shine. Even The Rock's Maui, I feel like, is second, pushed back a little bit more to make sure Moana has her character arc and her, it's her movie. It's her name in the title, and you want to like her. If she don't like her and she's forced in as the hero, like sometimes they do in these Disney movies, well, then that doesn't work. But when you actually have a strong heroine and you can give her stuff to do and give her a story, then and you do it right, it does work. And I thought that's what really actually made Moana 2 work. Again, it's not my favorite of the Disney movies as sequels go, though, as these sort of seemingly cash grab sequels go. I will give this a thumbs up because I thought, you know what? This didn't offend me. This didn't wreck the original. It continued the original while making it its own thing. It opened up the universe so they can continue to mine it. I'm sure it'll eventually get sort of tiring, but the kids loved it. I had fun with it. It's bright. It's colorful. The music, it's good. The music was okay. I would say Beyond, the new hit that they're trying to make a hit, is probably the best song. It's the How Far You Go song of this movie. The Rock song, Chi Hu, it's a good like pump up song. It's not You're Welcome. There's no I do think the music in Moana 1 better, but I think this music was fine. Lin-Manuel Miranda is not back, and I wish he would have, because I think had they put a little bit more time in the music, would have taken this even higher of a notch. I suspect there was a deadline on this one as well, similar to Frozen 2. And I suspect the music, Lin-Manuel Miranda's taking a break, I think, but also working on like 4 other Disney things. It's probably hard to do them all. And I suspect that's the one thing that they ran out of time on, because I don't even think there's as many songs in this one. So that's the only thing I will say. It's not as good, but again, they're not bad. So overall, much better than expected, I will say. Definitely, if you have children or even if you are a fan of Moana, this should not disappoint you. It is a continuation of Moana in a bright, fun, colorful way, and a spotlight for Moana to grow, and fun with Maui and the supporting characters. It is a solid holiday family film for all ages, and I'm happy to say they didn't mess it up. I was really worried. They did it well. Moana fans can rejoice and feel good. This is going to make a boatload of money. And honestly, I'm not mad at it. Disney hasn't had a lot of hits in a while, and I'm glad they figured out. Now, are they working these animators to the bone? Is that a problem we need to address at some point? If so, we'll address that later. But whatever happened, everyone involved, give them a raise because they pulled it off. And this was a tough one. I think that could have easily gone the Frozen 2 route, which, my God, Frozen 2 is really, really bad. But there you have it. What do you think? Are you guys going to check it this week? Hit that bell for alerts. Hit that subscribe. Are you going to see this? Are you going to see Wicked? Are you going to see Gladiator? Have you done Glicked? What movie are you looking forward to, or you think going to be the big one this Thanksgiving? I mean, it's clearly going to be Moana. But which one are you most excited about or hope people go actually see? Tell me in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching here on Movie World Plus, my place where I talk movies.